So I have a question. What's showing up in your life that you're totally unaware of? Maybe lack of support. Maybe money problems. Maybe relationship issues. Or have you ever had the why me party? I know I have. It's like, why is this happening to me? So things are showing up in our life that we're not even aware of. But tonight's show, tonight's special edition is going to really help you become aware so that all this stuff that you may be experiencing or someone that you know may be experiencing right now, you'll be able to help them change their life around. And I have an expert of all experts who is a life coach, a motivator, an inspirational speaker. He just changes people's lives around. He changed his own life around, so he knows this works. And we're going to be here tonight with you for a special edition of the Kenny and Penny Show. So I am so excited that you're all here with me. So in just a few minutes, I'm going to bring out my special guest co-host, which is I'm so thrilled to have with me tonight. So episode 60 of the Hangout with Penny Show. Wow, thank you. I just have to say thank you for all the support that you've been giving me and showing me all the love and making me a habit. Making me a habit. The weekly habit, Friday nights, 8 p.m. Eastern, 5 p.m. Pacific. So I have a couple of things I'd like to mention. Maybe this is the first time that you're tuning in and you're wondering, who's this person? Well, stay there. We're going to have a fun hour. My name is Penny Peddie, and I live in Wasaga Beach, Ontario, Canada. I am a Law of Attraction trained certified facilitator, coach. I'm a health and wellness coach. I am a self-empowerment coach. But what I do, what I specialize in, is teaching people how to change their words. I'm an NLP practitioner, so I teach people how to reframe things that they're saying. They don't even know that they're actually sabotaging their own results. And I'm so trained to pick that out that I help people turn their lives around. And I'm happy that I'm able to do that. So, hang out with Penny. So if this is your first time, but I also want to mention for those of you that are making me a habit, Google Plus, thank you Google Plus, but they're making changes. Google Plus is making changes, and at this point in time, it's still up in the air what's going to go on. So I want to make sure that you're getting these videos. So go to my website, hangoutwithpenny.com, and right there you can enter your email address, and I will email you the links and the recordings, because each show is recorded. So you can go back in and watch all 60 episodes. Thank you, my YouTube subscribers. If you haven't subscribed yet, you're going to see when you watch the recording on the bottom right corner, there's a tab there that you can subscribe. So you can catch all my videos there as well. Okay, so let's get to the important stuff. You know what I like to do? I like to share the wine of the week with you. And this week, for some of you know that very soon I'm going to be a grandma for the first time, and I'm very excited. So I've got the Grand Reserve Shiraz, but I have a Law of Attraction story for you. I bought that wine last night. I manifested free wine, you know that, right? I've been telling you that, but I wanted to treat myself, so I bought this expensive bottle of wine. And so I came home last night and I thought, I'm going to have a nice glass of wine. I wanted to get my nice wine glass. I reached for my nice expensive wine glass and I knocked over 2 other wine glasses. So I broke 3 wine glasses trying to get a wine glass to have a drink of wine. And I said, now I need new wine glasses. I had a friend invite me out for lunch today. Look what I get. It's wine 30 somewhere. Look at my bling glass. She said, I've had this from last January. So I got a new wine glass. So cheers, Deborah. Thank you very much. It's wine 30 somewhere. So I'm going to cheers, and we're going to have a great show. We're going to introduce Ken as soon as we're done having this drink. Oh, well, in a moment. I'm going to read some comments from last week, and then we're going to introduce Ken. So hang on. Cheers. Ooh, that's nice. Okay. Last week, I took the night off, so we're going to go back to episode 59. And the title of that show was, I Am Not Superwoman. Then again, maybe I am. The Joys of Caregiving. And that was insights by myself and my good friends Tana Marshall and Dana Smithers. So I have some comments here. I'll read some to you from S. Williams. She says, love the show. It was packed with great information and insights. Hearing your stories gave me aha moments. Great show. Thank you. Deborah O'Rourke, she's from Ontario, Canada, and she says, great show, Penny, Tana, and Dana. And if you think it was easy having two guests with the names Tana and Dana and keeping them straight throughout the whole show, I did pretty good. Catherine Green from the UK, she says, wow, this was really a special show for me to watch, especially after a particular challenging month. Thank you, ladies. I feel warm and grateful to have your support. You got it, Catherine. Romy Carlin, she's from Michigan. She says, it was a great show and great knowledge I gained. You are awesome people. Thanks again. Love, light, and peace. Thank you, Romy. And I'm going to read you one more from my friend Paola Lacotelli in Italy. And she says, hello, Penny. Oh, my goodness. Such an exciting episode. I loved all three of you. So many treasures you gave out. I love the idea of Tana going to Disney World or whatever one finds a fun moment, and that Dana talking of the sacred gifts made me realize that sometimes I beat myself up for something I feel I'm not doing right enough. Well, probably now I understand that it was because that was not part of my sacred gifts. So you might want to go check out episode 59 if you haven't yet watched it, because it was really, really powerful. So much information in there. And in the past, I brought into the idea of being a superwoman, but now I understand that taking care of me first is the only real way of being of help for somebody else. Thank you so much for this wonderful episode. Much love and blessings. Thank you, Paola. This is why I continue to do my shows. And my intention when I started these shows was to uplift and inspire and have fun and to empower people. But, you know, the whole idea was if I could help one person, just one person watching, then all this is just totally worth it for me. And it's happening. So thank you. All right. We're going to just come right out now with Ken. So Ken, come out, tell people who you are, where you are, and what you do, and we're going to get into the show.
Oh my goodness, this is so exciting. I'm so happy to hook up with you, Penny. This is amazing. Penny and Kenny, it's like it was meant to be, right? Are you kidding me? So I'm Ken Dixon, and I live in Kelowna, British Columbia, Canada. We both share a mentor in Michael Loge.
Yeah.
I was part of his first ever Law of Attraction Certified Facilitator program back in 2008. You would not believe the vibe that was in that room. If you can imagine, I believe there was 88, 90 people
really
that came together from all over the world into Vancouver. And we're all in one room. I'm telling you, that room really couldn't contain us. The roof was almost blowing off the place. There was so much positive energy, and the vibe of everybody was just all so together. It was an amazing experience. If people haven't hooked up with Michael Loge yet or his program to become a facilitator, highly, highly recommend it. So
Ken,
I have been.
Ken,
sorry.
I'm just going to ask you. So how long ago was that?
His first facilitator program that I was aware of, the big one. He may have done a few prior, but his big one was in 2008. So 8 years ago.
Okay.
7, 8 years ago. Yeah.
And why that's important is because I know we have people that watch my show that really want to become a facilitator of Michael's. So you are a true living example right now that this can be made into your living, your livelihood. You change people's lives and it works. So I just wanted to, because I know there's people that watch that so want to do this.
Yeah, no, and his program gives you everything, absolutely everything you need. The really good part about his program is that it teaches you, many people out there already understand the philosophies and the theories and how this works. They get that. Many people are living it. But how do you get that to the next person and the next person and the next person? How do you spread that? And that's where his program really stood out for me. It gives you every tip and technique that you will ever need to make sure that when you're in front of a crowd or when you're doing a one-on-one coaching session, that you have the tools you need to go further. So that's when I started, 2008. And actually prior to that, 30 years prior to that. I know, I ate a lot of preservatives. It's okay.
You look great. You really do.
I became a personal fitness trainer, a group fitness trainer in Vancouver, British Columbia. And I did that for many, many years. And I'm going to try to fit all of this into like 4 minutes or less here because I want to talk about so much today, right? So I was a personal fitness trainer, and I worked in several gyms down in the Vancouver area. And as a personal fitness trainer, if you know what I mean, you kind of work from here down, right, on people. You work from here down, right? I can get you a good set of biceps. I can get you some triceps. I can get your hamstrings, you know, whatever, right? But I always, for the whole time I was doing it, I always knew there was something missing. There was something that I knew that people needed, but I wasn't able to give it to them only because I'm a personal trainer, and that's all good. Health is amazing. People need it. But I always knew there was something missing, and so I was constantly searching for what else can I do for people, because that's really a passion for me. So a quick story about a trip that I had with my wife to Mexico. We were in Puerto Vallarta, Mexico, and we walked into this room, and hopefully this resonates with some people. We walked into a store, and the store had 300, 400, 500, 600 marionettes in it. You know what I mean by a marionette? It's like the puppet with the strings. One string goes to the head, 2 to the hands, and 2 to the feet, right? And kids can make them dance and all of that. So we walked into the store, and my wife said to me, she said, well, these would be cool to get for the kids we know back home. And I said, yeah, we looked around. This store was absolutely amazing. The colors, the outfits, there was hundreds and hundreds of them. And there was a small Mexican gentleman sitting in the corner. He was probably 80 years old at the time, and this is going back 25 years. We were talking about it, and my wife said to me, she said, there's no point in getting these, because what's going to happen is in a week they're going to be all tangled up, all the strings. I've seen it before. They're going to be in the corner. The kids are never going to play with them. Well, the gentleman that was in there came over, and in his broken English, he said to us, he says, I'm going to give you the answer for that so that you'll get years of enjoyment out of these marionettes. And we said, well, that'd be great. We'd pick up a few if we could figure out the answer. And he said, I'll give you the answer, and here it is. He says, if you find the string that goes to the head and you untangle the head, the rest will follow. Okay? Now, today we're talking about hyper-awareness. Okay? That's going to be one of the things we talk about. I don't know whether I was ready for that message. I don't know if what he said he meant to say. I don't know what the circumstances were that brought the universal energies together for me to pick up on what he was saying. But I was a personal trainer for years and years and years, trying to figure out what else I needed. That moment told me that what I need to do is try to figure out how to untangle the head so the rest will follow. Whoa. I'm not suggesting that everybody that I coach or everybody in my presentations have a tangled up head, but maybe in one of the 4 pillars of their life they do, right? So that was, you talked about aha moments in the comments. That was an aha moment for me in a huge way. So from there, I went on to do the studies, do the seminars, do the everything I could to gain as much knowledge as I could. And here's where Michael comes in, okay? If you can imagine this, okay? I'm working at a radio station in my hometown, and Michael's coming to town. What? Michael Loget's coming to town? He's going to do a presentation? That's going to be awesome, right? I had heard about Michael, but I didn't know a ton about him at this time. This is 2007, 2008-ish, somewhere in there. Well, he was coming to town to do a presentation, and he needed advertising, and I happened to be in that field at the time, right? So it's like, okay, so somehow, some way, as the universe will do, we aligned, and his people called me, right? Because he has people. I don't have people yet, but he has people. He's that good, okay? So his people called me and said, we need to hook something up. We need to get some ads out, right? We'll give you a free pair of tickets and a book, okay? I'm like, sweet, right? So we got a bunch of tickets from him because he's a very generous man too, by the way. So we got a bunch of tickets for staff of the radio station. I got some tickets, and I got to meet Michael Loget, right? So then what happens 3 weeks later is he puts out the big blab about he is going to do his first ever, I believe it was his first ever, big program where he's going to show people how to do the facilitation program, right? So got the book, got it signed, signed, okay? And got to meet him, chat with him a little bit, went down to Vancouver, spent that amazing time with him, with the 88 other facilitators that hopefully, take a breath, you were supposed to hold up that sign right there.
You're doing great, you're doing great.
And that was sort of what launched me into this. And then from there, I was able to just grow and expand and do the presentations, do the seminars, do the one-on-one coaching. One-on-one coaching, probably my favorite. I love doing the seminars, don't get me wrong, but the one-on-one coaching and really connecting with people in that way, that's what I'm doing now. And it is Awesome.
Awesome, awesome. So Ken, I'm just going to go out into the chat room here, and I just want to acknowledge Cindy Pohl. She says hi from Auckland, New Zealand, where it's 2 p.m. on Saturday afternoon, December 5, so the 5th. So it's a Saturday there where she is, and she says looking forward to a great show. Well done on 60 episodes, Penny. Well, thank you, Cindy. Thank you. It's because of all you that I've kept going, so thank you. And so June Kellogg, she says, oh, Cabernet in hand, ready. Bonjour, Penny. Oh, cheers to you, June. And Tana Marshall, love her. She says, I'll have to watch the recording. We're having Mom's family birthday dinner tonight. But as always, I'll be there in spirit. Have a great show, Penny Peddie. So happy birthday to your mom, Tana. And speaking of Tana, we also have a Enlightened Caregivers Community Support Group. Actually, this is Tana's logo. She wrote the book on the Enlightened Caregiver. And so we have a support group in there for people that are caregivers, whether it's for their parents or their spouse or their children, or maybe that's what they do for a living, or they're caring for a neighbor. But we all need support. And so we have that place for you. So just check out that in the Google communities, because we're there for you. Speaking of Google Communities, I also have my own Law of Attraction Center, and in there I have lots of goodies, and my programs are listed in there. And I just finished Your Storybook Life from Ordinary to Extraordinary in 2016, and that was so much fun. So yeah, okay, Ken.
Awesome.
I'm gonna say one more thing. I love when you said imagine, because I have this card that says imagine. And if people could begin to, so what's showing up in your life that you're not aware of, that you don't know? Well, if we can start to imagine, let's go to this side. We never imagine the things we don't want in our life. We can start making stories, but when you want to create something in your life, you want to imagine what you do want. Right? So that's really important. So that's a good word. You want to maybe write that down somewhere. And so it's like, imagine. So I keep this handy and I show it on my show lots. Imagine. Imagine.
Very nice. Very nice. It makes a real difference in gaining focus and eliminating those words don't not know, which you know, we kind of live by that, right? But we were going to talk the hyper awareness. You mentioned it off the start, and for me, I am. Look at you go! You go, bro.
I'm going after Alex Mendozian. He does the hand thing. So hyper awareness.
Hyper awareness. So basically, what I mean by that with hyper awareness is being aware of the things that are actually happening in your life and having faith that those things are happening in your life for a reason. I talk about faith a lot in my seminars when I'm talking to people one-on-one, and I don't necessarily talk about a religious faith, because everybody has their own beliefs, and I believe everybody can believe whatever they want, right? So when I talk about faith, it's not necessarily a religious faith, whatever vibes for people, right? Circumstances that happen to us, it can be, and I mention this a lot when I'm doing one-on-one. It could be you're walking through a bookstore, and I notice you got lots of great books back there. Yeah. You're walking through a bookstore, and for some reason you walk through this bookstore 10, 15, 20 times, whatever the case may be. It might be on your way to work in the mall. It might be one of your regular stops on your day-to-day trip. And for some reason, somehow, some way, as you're walking by the particular bookshelf, something just seems to almost light up on the bookshelf, right? And you don't know why, and perhaps, and this happens to us a lot, things that are happening to us that we don't even know that are happening to us. And I think I paraphrased the title there, but I think that's kind of what this is about. So if that happens to people, my strong suggestion is stop for a minute, take a look, and try to figure out why that thing is shining for you, why that book is shining for you on the shelf, right? But it goes even further than that, Penny. What happens is somebody rear ends me. Okay, I'm driving down the street. I do a lot of driving. I'm going around talking to businesses all the time and doing my thing. And I've been rear-ended. I've gotten fender benders and accidents and that sort of thing. And rather than, because I have faith in things are always, I'm what they call an inverse paranoid. Do you know what that is?
No. What is it?
An inverse paranoid is somebody who believes the universe is conspiring to do them good. Okay.
Oh, I love that.
Right? Okay. So that's me. That's how I operate. The universe is conspiring to do me good. So even if it appears bad on the surface, and of course we all know that nothing is bad, it's only how we perceive it. As that's happening to me, if somebody gives me a fender bender in the parking lot, the universe made it so important and such a priority that I meet that person that I better get out of the car and go, hi, my name's Ken Dixon. You may have heard of me.com, right? Because that's actually how I introduce myself to people. Ken Dixon, you may have heard of me, right? And then I hit the .com because I figured I'd buy the website. So that person was so important in my life that the universe somehow conspired to make sure that person and I met. Even though it doesn't seem like it's the best circumstances, there's a reason that that person is giving me the fender bender, and I've got to meet them, and I better ask them why. I better ask them what they're into. I better ask them about their life, right? It may be they have something to teach me, or maybe I have something to teach them, or it might be both. But those sort of things are happening to people all the time. And rather than embracing it and realizing that it's there for their good, people get ticked off. They go to their insurance company. They try to sue them for as much money as they can, and those sort of things, right? So those are the kind of things that I'm talking about when I say things that are happening to people. I'll get stuck behind somebody. Again, you might have to put up the breath card in a minute. I'll get stuck behind somebody. You ever been stuck behind a really slow driver? You're driving down the road and there's somebody driving so slow in front of you, and you get super frustrated and you say, come on, buddy, it's a 50 zone and you're going 30. We've all been there. I know we've all been there, right? But here's the thing. We don't understand what's going on in that person's life. That person, two things could be happening. That person could have an aquarium in their back seat and they can only go at 30 kilometers an hour because if not, all the fish are going to die. Or that person could be saving your life because of the fact that you're getting to go a little bit slower. You're not at that intersection 1 minute ahead of schedule, and when that person is going to run the red light. But you will never, ever, ever know that because the universe has conspired to do you good. It put this person with the aquarium in their back seat in front of you going 30 kilometers an hour. So you're not at that intersection when that person ran the red light, and you are awesome. You're still alive because you still have something to contribute to the planet, right? So those are the kinds of things I'm talking about. People get, they get stressed and they don't understand why these things are happening to them, why they're behind the slow driver, why the person rear-ended them. Those kinds of things, yeah, they seem like negative things, but at the end of the day, those things were put there to make sure that you are where you need to be. Does that make sense?
Oh, I just love the way you've explained that because, yes, it totally makes sense. So now I'm going to ask you a question.
Okay.
How does this relate to, because as law of attraction trainers and facilitators, we teach people about, it's all about vibration and you get what you vibrate. So they're, like, what did I do to vibrate this? Like, why? But so how do you explain that when you're talking about this? Because if you're not even aware of it, who's doing that for us? There's this greater force, but so we're not always vibrating for ourselves. How do we explain that?
No, absolutely, we are. Whatever you're thinking about, you're gonna attract, right? So if you're consciously living and living deliberately, what's happening is most people who are living deliberately have figured out that you eliminate the words don't not know, right? I mean, that's even before step one. That's sort of, your introductory to what we do is eliminate the words don't not know. So, right. So if you're eliminating the word don't not know, or even if you're not, and in your regular life or in your previous existence, how you were living your life, you were saying, I don't want to be late for work today, right? But now you've switched that all up and say, I want to make it to work safely and happily, and right, because that's how we operate, right? Okay, so that's what you would be vibrating, right? So you get up for work and maybe you are running a little bit late, maybe you're stressing out about it, but you're not thinking, I don't want to be late for work, because if you think I don't want to be late for work, the law of attraction pulls out the word not, and I want to be late for work, right? So, or the universe, whatever you want to call that, right? So if you're thinking deliberately and living deliberately and using the law of attraction deliberately, right? You're saying, I want to arrive at work safe and on time, okay? So if that slow driver is in front of you and you think they're going to slow you down and get you to work late, truth is that slow driver was put there to get you to work safe and on time. You might not be 3 or 4 minutes early, but chances are, because that happened to you, you're going to get there right on time. And you're going to be safe because that's what you sent out to the world, right? If you are saying, look, I need to figure out how to build a new website. I'm just throwing random thoughts out here. Mm-hmm. I need to readjust my website. And you get rear-ended by somebody and you don't talk to that person, you get a little fender bender. Nobody's injured. It's all fine. It's just a little dent in your bumper. It's all good, right? Whatever. It's going to cost $500. Whatever. That's the side story, right? The real story is this person is in your life for a reason, okay? Because there is a reason, everything happens for a reason. A lot of people will say there's a reason everything happens, and many people will say everything happens for a reason. My truth, there's a reason everything happens for a reason. So I'll explain that a little bit before I get back to the fender bender. The reason things are happening is because of your thoughts. I think that's fair comment. I think most people that understand the law of attraction understand that things happen because of your thoughts, positive or negative. Doesn't matter. Universe doesn't decide, right? Universal laws don't decide. Whatever's happening is because of your thoughts, right? So your thoughts caused this to happen, and it caused this to happen for this reason, because this is what you wanted. Do you understand what I mean by that? So there's a reason this happened to bring you closer to this, right? So the thing that happened was somebody bumped your bumper a little bit. Big deal. If you're not asking that gentleman or that lady why 3 times, you are missing out on a huge opportunity. Hi, what do you do? Why do you do it? What, you know, you're going to find out that person is probably an IT tech, okay, that can help you with rebuilding your website, but you got so angry and so frustrated thinking this was a negative circumstance. I'm not saying everybody, I'm just saying this can be a commonplace occurrence, right? That people get so angry and so frustrated and don't understand that the universe is conspiring to do them good. That's an amazing, freeing thought, right? So when you understand that the universe is conspiring to do you good, even if it appears bad on the surface, that person is in your life because they probably can help you with your website. Yeah, you asked for it, right? Be careful what you wish for. Be full of care when you wish, right? So you asked for somebody to help you with your website. Somebody rear-ends you a little bit, not a lot. Nobody's injured. Everybody's good. That person is probably the guy for your website. If you don't ask them, you're missing out. What are the things that are happening in your life that you're not picking up on? That, I think, is the title of this. Those are the things that are happening in our world that people are missing out on. And what I want people to do is be hyper aware of those things. Be aware that, you know, whatever people are saying to you and doing for you and with you, and it's all for the greater cause. It's all for your thought created this so that you could get closer to here. I don't even know if I'm on video on that, but that's the process, right? There's a process to this, right? If you have a negative thought, you get a negative result. You get a negative result. It's because you were thinking about this negative thing in your world, right?
We're gonna breathe. I love that. I love that. So in the beginning, it's like, what's showing up in your life that you're not aware of? And I mentioned the lack of support, but I just so love, because now we can think, you know what? The universe is always conspiring to support me. Now we're being aware. So when circumstances happen, it's like, okay, maybe this just saved my life. Or maybe I meant to come into this person's life because I need something that they have to offer. So now we have a different awareness. We're leaving tonight with a totally different awareness than when we came. Because it's like, oh yeah, I really never thought of it that way. And that is the best thing. When you can say something to somebody and they can say, I never thought of it like that before.
You know what? And it happens, Penny, it happens all the time. Somebody butts in front of you in the grocery line, okay? And you kind of go, what a jerk. People do that, right? People do that all the time, right? They raced in front of you. You see them way down the aisle and they see you heading towards the checkout and they run and they get in front of you, right? It happens. People are like that. But 2 things you got to think about that. There's something going on in that person's life that they need to get where they're going in a much bigger hurry than you are, right? And secondly, that could be happening. I don't know which one of these is true, right? The how isn't for me. I just need to know what, right? So the second thing could be that you needed to be delayed 5 minutes or 3 minutes or whatever that extra time is that person, you know, put their jug of milk down and then got cigarettes, and that took another 4 minutes because the person had to go to the thing, right? That 4 minutes could save your life. And if you're not understanding that the universe is there to do you good, right? And have faith in that, have faith that it's going to happen. And I'm talking about an unwavering, complete understanding that everything that's happening to you is happening to get you where you need to be when you need to be there.
Oh yes, and one of our, you know, we teach allowing as the process of allowing the law of attraction, our greater good, to be able to figure out the hows for us, right? So when you talk about faith, you're allowing. Oh, let me see, what do we got here? Oh yes, what is allowing? Doubt, desire. I love it. I love it.
You're not the only person that can hold up things, Penny.
So let's talk about that for a minute then.
Okay. So allowing is removing of doubt, right? Okay, so we're familiar with that. I just kind of held up that worksheet. I kind of adapted it from Michael Logier's book. Michael Logier's book, shameless self-promotion for Michael Logier. Okay, there we go. All right. Okay, and his other book, just in case, because I know he's watching. If he's not watching, he's going to watch back. So, you know, I know that, right? So, hi, Michael. Okay.
Hi, Michael.
I can't tell if he's on. You're the only one that has the list. So yeah, and just to simply go through what Michael Logier explains in his seminars and presentations and coaching sessions that he does, strong desire, strong doubt, the math is easy, right? It's a zero manifestation, right? Strong desire, a little bit of doubt. It takes a little bit longer, but you will get some manifestation. Strong desire, no doubt, right? Absolutely, positively, and it's going to happen like that. One of the exercises I just did actually this week with one of my clients was to get her to work from a small point and work forward so that she could build her evidence in her evidence journal as to the power that she really possesses, because it is freaking amazing how much power we have, right? So my first step for her was to get her to think about, okay, what can I attract today that really has no doubt in my mind that I could attract it, right? So we settled on a cup of coffee, right? This is something that she thought, you know, that's pretty easy to manifest, right? I should be able to manifest a free cup of coffee. And here's the thing. It is so easy to manifest a free cup of coffee. When you're in the coffee shop, turn around, ask the guy behind you to buy you a cup of coffee. See what happens. You got a 50-50 shot, people, right? It's like, hello. Why wouldn't you say, hey, why don't we talk? Why don't you buy me a coffee? I'll talk. I got some stuff I want to share with you. Why would you do that, right? I mean, oh my goodness, right? There you go, done. I've done this. Absolutely, I've done this, right? So I'll tell you another little trick. It's more of a fun thing for me. But anyway, so anyways, it happened to her. It happened to her within 2 or 3 days. She manifested a cup of coffee. So then we were talking again on the next coaching session. And she says, I want something that's really going to prove it to me, really going to prove to me that, you know, it wasn't just a coincidence, because that's the thing. We all know there's no coincidences, right? Everything happens for a reason. There's a reason everything happens for a reason. Okay, so I said, well, okay, what would convince you? And she said, well, there's this girl that I wanted to hook up with that I haven't seen in like 8 to 10 years. She goes, it would be really amazing if I heard from her, right? And I'm like, okay, give it attention, energy, and focus. But what I want you to do is I want you to place some memories down. Tangible is really good. Tangible is a good thing in what we do, something you can refer to, right? So I told her, I take some paper, write down all the things you can think about that person, right? How you know them, where you met them, what they look like, how many kids they have, what their husband's name is. Write down as many things as you can about that person so that as you go through that process, you're giving them attention, energy, and focus, which we know is really a big key into this. Okay, so I told her.
You're doing good. You're doing good.
I know, you're not very good with that breathe card. Okay, so I told her. So I told her to write down as many things as she could about that person and then make 50 copies of that and put it everywhere that she could so that everywhere she goes, whether she has a copy in her wallet, on her mirror, in her car, on the toaster, whatever, every time she does something or goes somewhere, she's giving that person attention, energy, and focus. Now, I haven't had the follow-up on that call, but those are the simple things that people can do to really get evidence as to whether or not they're allowing, right? I mean, that's the thing. If you want to know if you're allowing money into your world, open up your wallet. Michael says this. Open up your wallet. Check that. How's that working for you? Dr. Phil says that. So, you know.
I have a story about that. So I have a friend, and she lives out in Vancouver. And I was her maid of honor at her wedding like years ago. So I hadn't saw her in 25 years. And so going way back in 2002, 2003, when I started changing my life around, and I went through the steps of writing down 101 things of what I wanted to do, achieve, be, and have in my life. And so one of them was I wanted to go to BC. I wanted to go to Vancouver, British Columbia. Like I wanted to go to the west coast of Canada, the east coast of Canada. Anyway, so one night when I was going to bed, I went to bed and I was thinking about my list. And I started thinking, well, I know Jacqueline, she lives out west. And I just thought, maybe someday that's what I'll do. I'll go visit her. Now I went to sleep with that thought. Left it alone. January or Christmas time came. My mom says, oh, guess what? I got a card from Jacqueline. And I'm like, really? She says, yeah. And there's a phone number for you to call her.
What?
I took the phone number and I brought it home, and I just put it on the top of my fridge. Then I totally forgot about it. So now it's in the middle of January, and I'm doing my housework, and I'm cleaning off the top, and I find the phone number. It's a Saturday morning, right? And I thought, Saturday, I'm just going to call. We had a 3-hour-long conversation. This was in January. In April, I was in Vancouver. We went to Victoria. We did a whole thing. So that was just like, boom, just like that.
You know, Penny, I'd like to say I'm surprised, but I hear and see those things happen so much in the world when people figure it out, right? When people know, eliminate the don't not know. Figure out, define your desire to the best, to as much detail as you can. Give it attention, energy, and focus, and have faith that the universe is conspiring to do you good, and allow it. You don't need to figure out the how. You just need to figure out the what, and give it attention, energy, and focus. It is amazing at how quickly things like that happen. But then there comes the awareness part, right? If your mom didn't know that you were thinking about, right, and you probably put the word out a little bit, right? You sent it out. You certainly sent it out to the universe, right?
Vibrationally.
Somehow, I'm sorry?
Just vibrationally, because
right?
Somehow
that happened. Somehow your mom got the vibration that you were, right? Somehow she got that phone number. She didn't throw it out, because look at all the options there are. Look at how many of the opportunities there are. The mail could have got lost. Your friend could have not mailed it. Your mother could have got it and gone, who's this? It's wrong address. She could have got it, opened it up, and said, I don't really remember this person. Why is right? There's so many things that could have happened to make that not happen, but they didn't happen, right? I mean, that's the power, right? I mean, there's so many things that could get in your way, but when you allow it, when you open yourself up to actually having it and have the faith, remove the doubt that it can happen, miracles happen. Miracles happen. Unless you don't believe in miracles, then you'll never see any, right?
We're a living miracle, I believe. So
unbelievable, so powerful.
Yeah. So I just love that. And so we have the power within us. So what happens to us that when we just give up? I'm just going to read something that you have here. And when I read it, I went, oh my gosh, this is powerful. And you say that we all have the power within us to do great things in our life that are ideal for us. If you are merely existing day to day, which many of us do, sometimes we're even afraid to dream anymore. But anyway, so if you're merely existing day to day in the same old way and not following your passion, you believe that this is spiritual suicide. You may be killing your own spirit. That to me was just like, oh my gosh, we do that. We do that.
You know what? Here's the thing, Penny. I don't know necessarily that everybody has a predetermined destiny. I think we grow into our destiny. And here's what my truth. Everybody has something to contribute. Everybody has something to contribute. And when we don't contribute to the one that we are, we're killing ourselves and other people. There is something so important in you, and I can't see the list of people, but I'm going to pretend I'm on Romper Room here and go on in Billy, in Janet, in Carson, in there's so right. There's so much important stuff that these people need to contribute. We'll call it the cog in the wheel, right? Everybody has a role in making sure that wheel moves, right? Everybody has a role. And so when you go within yourself and stop yourself from contributing what it is, and you could be, I'm going to say it maybe politically incorrect, you may be the crazy person on the bus that's preaching at the back of the bus and nobody wants to sit beside you, but you know what? You feel passionate about your message. And so that is going to resonate with somebody at some point somewhere in the world, and that person is going to get that, and then they're going to carry on something, and they're going to carry, and it's just going to continue to move forward, right? So it is so important to follow your passion. If you're doing something in your world and you are not contributing somehow to your passion, you don't have to live, you don't have to 100% of the time. Everybody needs to exist and have a career and have a job, and it may not necessarily always be their absolute passion, but you can A 9-to-5 job is a part-time job now, Penny. Do you know what I'm saying? If you're working 9 to 5, you're the average. You're average. If you want to remain average, work 9 to 5, right? If you want to be better and contribute and be more and manifest more, right? Do your 9 to 5, absolutely, because maintaining your lifestyle is very important. Then take another 4 to 6 hours and do your passion, because that's where you come alive. That's where the drive comes from. That's where the joy comes from. Do you know what I mean by that? That's the joy in life. So work your 9 to 5, make sure you got food on the table, do that sort of thing, right? Work your passion. Your passion may not be making money, because truthfully, I don't believe that people really want money. What? Did he say people don't want money? I truly believe, my truth is, if people wanted money, they keep it. But what do they do as soon as they get it? They go out and get the brand new scarf, a new pair of boots, a new car, a house. People don't want money. They want the stuff money can get them. Sometimes, Penny, sometimes you can get that stuff without money, but people are afraid to ask. You can turn around and ask the guy at the coffee shop to buy you a coffee. It doesn't cost you a dime, right? One of my favorite quotes from Michael Loge is, never say no to money, right? And money comes in all sorts of forms. Money can come in the form of a free coffee. It can come in the form of your friend, as Michael would say, a friend who has a red shirt. They're going to throw it out. You call them and say, yeah, I'm looking for a red shirt. What a coincidence. I'm looking for a red shirt, right? Sometimes you don't need money to get what you want. You just need to ask.
Yes, I'm just going to read a comment here. So Cindy Pohl, she says, what a powerful statement. Wow, what an eye-opener. This is life-changing. There you go. Thank you, Cindy.
Wow.
Yep. And then Troy Davidson, he says, I was wondering the same thing when someone crashed into my parked car last week. I was in the house. I wondered if not having a car prevented an unhelpful event that I would have been involved in. That's an awareness, you see. By the way, I'm looking for a car. But that's what you mean, right? Like he thought, like, okay, what am I being supported in right now? Instead of the opposite.
He could have gone out there in anger and frustration and all of those negative vibrations that we send out there and attracted. If he'd have done that, and I'm not sure how he handled it, sounds like he handled it amazingly, right? If he'd gone out there with anger, frustration, ticked off, use whatever word you want, he would have, right then and there, he would have attracted more of that, right? Because as we know, law of attraction doesn't have a memory, right? It can't predict the future and it can't deal with the past. What does it deal with? I'll show you what it deals with, because this is my watch.
Oh, love it.
That is my watch, okay? People ask me what time it is. I tell them it's now. It's the only time that matters.
Oh, my gosh. I want one of them.
Right? I had that special made because that reminds me that whatever I'm sending out right now and right now and right now and right now is what's going to be returned to me. So if I ever lose sight of what time it is, right, I'm probably going to wind up in a place I don't necessarily need to be or want to be, right? My vibration is always very, very high, because when's it important that my vibration is high?
Now.
Now, right? So that's what he did, right? He went out there, he saw this vehicle, he saw this accident, right? And he went, okay, I have two ways of dealing with this. And absolutely, we always do. We have choices. We can all make the choice, right? He had two choices. He could have gone out there. He could have picked a fight. He could have beat the guy. The guy could have beat him. Who knows, right? I'm going off the deep end there, but anything could have happened there. But what did he do? He took a step back, right? Instead of reacting, he acted, right? Deliberately living, right? And he said, you know what? Hopefully this is what he thought. I'm an inverse paranoid. The universe is conspiring to do me good, even though that situation appears bad right now. There's a reason. Everything happens for a reason. And that's going to, like he said, and that's even more forethought than I've had, right? That was an amazing statement, that my vehicle doesn't work, stop me from getting somewhere, right? I mean, that's an amazing, if you can get there, I'm humbled, right? If he can get there, that's amazing, right? Yeah. Congratulations to you. I can't remember his name, but congratulations to you.
Troy Davis. Mm-hmm.
Troy, amazing, Troy. That's an awesome reaction, not a reaction so much as an action, what you took. It's amazing.
Yes.
Yeah.
Wow, I love that.
That's what we're talking about, being aware. There's always a reason that things are happening for a reason. And
so let's go to the topic maybe that someone's really struggling with finances right now, and they're thinking, like, what can that reason be? So let's help clear a vibe a little bit to help them. That's like, you know what? The universe really is here to support you. How can we change our mindset to start believing that?
What's the question, though? What's the question?
Oh, so in the opening, I said, you know, maybe it's a money problem that you're dealing with right now. And it's like, really? How can the universe really be supporting me when I'm looking at this right now?
At a money problem.
Yes.
Okay.
Or any problem for that matter. But when
you and I both know the words are very important. The words that we use create the thoughts that we think, create the vibration we send out that create the result, right? That's the back up a box game that Michael likes to play, right? Okay. I don't believe in problems. I believe in situations. Okay.
Yes.
It's just a frame for me. It's just the way I frame things when people come to me. Situations are way easier to overcome than problems. Let's be clear. In my world, my truth, situations are way easier. Okay. So what I would ask somebody who says they're having money problems or they don't have enough money, I'm a 3 to 5 why guy. Why factor is very important when you're trying to figure out what your passions are and where you're headed. Okay, so 3 to 5 whys all the time, almost all the time. You can usually get to them within that, right? So if somebody's saying they have a money problem, I'd first off ask them why they need money. Okay, it's a hard question to answer. People can tell you, right? It's kind of like, it's another hard question. I'm going to divert for just a minute. Another hard question for people to answer is people ask us as coaches and trainers, well, why bad things happen.
Yes.
Right. And I'm just going to veer off on this for just a second. Then I'm going to get back to the money thing. People ask all the time, why do bad things happen? Michael Loge has a great answer for this. My answer for this is define bad in 2 words or less. Can you do it, Penny?
I don't think so.
I know, right? It's a challenge, okay? I love a challenge. Defining bad in 2 words or less is not good, okay? I think that's pretty clear, right?
Yes.
Okay? Here's the thing. One defines the other, right? Yeah, it's another universal law. It's called the universal law of polarity, right? You can't have a top without a bottom. You can't have a left without a right. You can't have a east without a west, a north without a south, a north pole without a south pole. You can't have a good without a bad. I apologize to people hypothetically because that's the truth. That is a truth. That's not even my truth. You can't have a low tide without a high tide. How would you know if it was a high tide if there was never a low tide? You need something to compare it to, right? We talk about this in the comparison list that we do all the time, right? All unhappiness is caused by comparison. Luckily, so is happiness, right? You're the guy driving the Porsche down the road and the guy's in the Chevette. The Porsche guy probably pretty happy, the Chevette guy not so much. The guy in the Chevette, right? That's a comparison thing, right? We always compare. Hopefully, we're only comparing ourselves to ourselves. Where am I today from where I was yesterday? Am I happier or not, right? Am I unhappy with my results or am I happy with my results? That's the true test, right? So, okay, so I would ask, going back to the money thing, I would ask, why do you need money? They'd give me some answer. Well, because everybody needs money. Okay, why does everybody need money, right? And I will go through that process. Well, my mom told me I needed money. You know, there's so many things that people believe that aren't necessarily truths, right? Because you can get stuff without money. You just have to ask. We've all heard asking it is given, and people are afraid to ask. So that's a big one for me. You got to ask that question 5 times. Why do you want money? Why is money a problem for you? Why do you think you have a problem with money? Well, I think I have a problem with money. This can be an eye-opener for people, okay? So think about this, Penny. I think I have a problem with money because I only make $100,000 a year and my sister makes $250,000 a year. You don't have a freaking problem with money, right? You're comparing. You're just unhappy, right? That's the thing, right? There's no problem with money. If you're bringing in $100,000 a year, that's not a problem, people. It's not even a situation, right? So that's why I do the why factor, right? You've got to get to the core of what it is. And when you get to the core of what people are dealing with, you're going to discover usually their passion and really what they truly want. It's not money. They want to live this lifestyle or that style. And they just need to maybe they don't need to do this to get to here, right? Maybe they don't need to own a Sea-Doo if they want, if they want a better house. You know what I mean? Sometimes we have to do that. Eventually you get your Sea-Doo back, but what's your priority? My true belief is you can only have one. People challenge me on this all the time. I believe there's 4 pillars to life. There's health, wealth, love, and happiness. Those are the 4 pillars that I build my life on, and those are the 4 pillars that I deal with when I'm coaching with people, right? You can only have one priority in life. If you look up priority in the dictionary, it's singular. You can't have more than one priority. You can have a priority in your wealth, you can have a priority in your happiness, so on and so forth, but one of those categories is going to be your priority, right? So the priority within wealth is going to be your priority. Eventually that'll drop down and you might want to focus on the priority in your health, but now that's your priority, right? You can only have one. It's singular by definition.
Oh, I love that. This is great. I just wanted to, there was a quote by June Kellogg. She says, I look not forward nor back. I am now, and this is life, by J.K. Froghouse. I have to say, I've not heard of that person before. So thanks for that quote, June. I like that. Oh, now, there you go. That now, I love that. I'm going to, you know what I'm going to do? Oh, here, I'm going to do it right now. So Ken, we are getting close to our hour. Like really, our hour.
I'm not done. I'm not done.
So I'm just going to write this, and I'm going to keep this now. Right? Now. I'm going to keep that right here.
Penny, it's the only time that matters. It is the only time that matters. If I can share a quick, cute little story with you. I've had this watch for about 8 or 9 years. Actually, this is my second one because the first one I wore it out, right? So I had this watch for about, probably about, I don't know, 4 or 5, maybe 6 years. And it's amazing for me. It just keeps me in check, right? But the first hour I owned this watch, I had it custom made. So the first hour I owned this watch, I was in the mall, in our local mall here, and we went into a chocolate shop. And this very, very sweet older woman came up to me. I think she had a walker. And she came up to me and she saw I had a watch on. And she said, excuse me, son, can you tell me what time it is? Exactly what I wanted to happen. Oh my goodness, what I want people to ask me about my brand new watch that just says now. This thing is freaking incredible to me, right? And I looked at her and I said, actually, it's now. And I showed her my watch, and she looked at me, and she was like 4 foot nothing, right? And she looked at me and she goes, I guess I have lots of time left, then, don't I? And I'm like, seriously, how does that even happen? Like, seriously, what? So good, right?
Oh my gosh. I love that. So,
then she just waddled away. She was content. Yeah, it's now. Okay, I guess he's right. You know, it was so good. Yeah.
So I'm going to come back to you. So whatever you want to share with our viewers, please make sure you let them know how they can contact you or where they can. And if you want to talk about you're going on vacation, but what are you doing on the vacation too? Like that, you have the ideal lifestyle, I would say. So you've been watching episode 60. Thank you for hanging in there. This was a special edition of the Kenny and Penny Show, and it has been fantastic. So thank you for all you viewers. I still see you're hanging in there, so thank you so much. And next week, it is episode 61 with Jackie McLean, and we're going to be talking about the holidays and the stress that can happen with the holidays. And she's got so many good tips and techniques to help us eliminate so we can have a happy, healthy, peaceful, wonderful holiday season. So that's next week with Jackie. And you'll remember her for all you that have been watching me for the last 60 episodes. She'll be a familiar face for you. And for you new ones, you'll love her. She's fantastic. So episode 60. Now we're going to come back to Ken. Look at this thumbs up, Ken. All right, Ken, what do you have to leave? I love this hyper awareness because this is even something that I really never even thought of. I knew that there was something, but I just didn't realize that, there's more to this than even I was even aware of. So thank you very much for helping me with this awareness of how the universe is conspiring to support me and you. And everybody watching, and everybody that they know.
If people can get that, I think if people can really get the fact that it is conspiring to do you good, be an inverse paranoid. Don't, and you're talking about stress next Christmas. If people, or your next episode, if people can get the fact that whatever's happening is happening to advance them to whatever direction that they're looking at going, the stress goes away. Right? It's like really, what am I worried about? Right? It's going to work out. It's always going to work out. It always has worked out. And that's the thing. That's the challenge for people. Look back at your life. Right? You're still here right now. If you weren't, you wouldn't be watching this. Right? So everything that's happened till now hasn't been so bad because you're still here. You've had all those successes. Right?
Ken, breathe. I have a question for you.
Okay.
One of the ladies asked, Ken, one question. Do you sleep?
4 hours a day. No, I do. Absolutely. I get lots of sleep. Are you kidding? Sometimes I sleep while I'm doing this. No, I don't. No, I do. I get lots of sleep. That's very funny.
I know, that is cute. And then she says, beautiful answer by the woman asking about the time. That was. And so June, she says, really great. Thank you, Penny and Ken. Merci beaucoup. Fun, fun, fun.
So good. Yeah.
Yes.
So if people want any more information, I mean, you can see my website there. That's my sort of my fun. I bought that one just for giggles, right? So you may have heard of me.com. It just links directly to KenDixon.com, which is KENNDIXON. The first N is silent. Not really.
Oh my God, you're hilarious.
So you could go there too, and I have more than 250 blog entries. I've got lots of information. I've got a couple of blogs on there. I'm constantly updating it. I have an inspirational quote of the day. I have a newsletter once a month. If you want to sign up for that, that'd be cool too. You know, you get that. And with the newsletter comes a book of the month, something that I'm reading that has inspired or taught me something. So I include that in that as well. And you know, go ahead.
Yeah, I just want to say though, you have inspired me so much along the course of my journey doing this, because like I said, you know, when I first became a facilitator and I got into the certified facilitator group and I saw you there, I remember reaching out to you and I started following you and I read your posts and I would go and check out your website and everything. And then over the last, I don't know, all of a sudden you were just seemed to be off the radar, and then all of a sudden you were back, and that's why I reached out to you. I'm like, Ken, and you are back and just totally amazing.
Well, I'm getting out of obscurity with people, right? I mean, I've been doing this a long time, right? And you're right. I may have drawn myself back a little bit, but I was busy doing other things and happy and grateful and all that. So that wasn't necessarily an issue for me, right? I was still grateful and happy and living a dream. So that was good. But then, you know, I found another cyber mentor, right? And he talks about getting out of obscurity. And it's really an interesting thing, because not only do I want to get out of obscurity, and I apply this to LOA, not only do I want to get out of obscurity with people in the public and all of that sort of stuff, but here's a little thing, right? The more you're out there, the more attention you're giving to your dreams, the more you're getting out of obscurity with the universal energies. So think about that for a minute, right? There's 7 billion people on the planet all looking to live the dream life. If you're not constantly giving attention, energy, and focus to your dreams, goals, and desires, right, and 7 billion other people are, where do you think the energy is going to go, right? It's an unlimited energy, but where do you think it's going to go? It's going to go to the people that do the works, right? The works is giving it attention, energy, and focus, and having the faith.
Love it. Love it. Any final word, Ken? We're going to honor the time. It's 9 o'clock. We did it. You're right. You said, you know, Penny, we could go 2 hours. I'm like, oh my God, you're so right. This just like flew by. But
I know you said we could do half an hour, and I'm like, there's no way I'm doing half an hour. No, sorry. No, I think that's good. I mean, to check out my website, and if you want to follow up with me, you certainly can. I think that would be totally awesome.
I love that. Do you have a tip? One thing you could leave our viewers with tonight?
One thing I could, well, again, I'm going to have to go just having faith that the universe is conspiring to do you good. That's something that saved me in a lot of situations, relieved a lot of stress for me, allowed me to be hyper aware, I think, because I'm aware that whatever's coming to me, whatever's shining on the shelf, whatever person is coming into my world, whatever person bumped into me in the grocery store and apologized or whatever, they're there for a reason. And you have to have faith the reason is for you.
Thank you so much. And everybody, the time is now. The time is now. We all gonna get a watch like that. The time is now. Ken, thank you so much. This has been incredible. You have really shared so much, and I know you've helped a lot of people with this show tonight. So I really appreciate this. And hopefully when you come back from your retreats, we'll do this again.
That'll be good. I'm in.
Thank you. Thank you, everybody. I'm so glad that you are still with me. And remember, it's recorded. We will see you next week on episode 61. Thanks, everybody. We'll talk to you later. Bye for now.